Late Night Health continues. Our guest is Liberty Forrest. She's does everything from hypnotherapy to being an intuitive, and wrote a very nice note, by the way, on Facebook over the weekend, and I really appreciate that, about Late Night Health. And she hadn't even been on the show yet, so that's even nicer. Can you believe that?
Well, the question is, would the note change after the...
we're going to find out.
After the audio experience.
Exactly. I hope you're having a good time, Liberty.
I absolutely am. I love your interview style, as I've mentioned to you.
Well, thank you very much.
Love the show.
Thank you. Your name, how has that impacted your life? You have an unusual name.
Yes, well, there's a story there. I chose this name as a result of my involvement with numerology, which I used to think was just a bit of fun, and then discovered that it was frighteningly accurate and monumentally helpful to my life. And the name I had before was actually a real pain, and especially when I was
like Janet Smith. I mean, it was...
Oh, no. I don't even want to say what it was, but it was a name that was really, it was complicated. People couldn't hear it, spell it, remember it, and I was on the radio a lot. I used to do, for about 5 years, I did monthly psychic phone-ins on the BBC, and I used to do a lot of stage work as a medium and did other things in public, and nobody could get my name right, and it drove me crazy. Then I got involved with numerology and thought, well, all right. When I found out that my name actually clashed with the numbers in my birth date, I thought, okay, time for a name change. So I had to find something that had some meaning. So there's a whole story there, but we don't have time for that. Got
it. But it is an unusual name, and people do remember it.
That was part of the reason I chose it. And it needed to have meaning for me. And I really spent my life in search of liberty, in search of freedom, freedom to express myself and be who I'm meant to be. And so I came up with the first name, and then I needed to find a name that would be grounding and sort of earth-based to balance the freedom of liberty. So that's how I came up with it.
I was reading something the other day, and it said to be completely balanced. Actually, I was with Gary Stewart.
And, yeah. About that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. And somebody had folded her legs under her, and he said, "No, I need your feet on the floor, and to balance, to ground you during the session that we were doing." And it was. She said it was remarkably different in feel with that grounding. Can people self-heal by being grounded, and how do they ground? How does somebody ground themselves?
Well, there are loads of ways you can do that, and yes, being grounded is really important, but it is also equally important to be expansive in your life and your thinking. You do have to have both, because some people are so grounded and so earth-based that they get very stuck and rigid, and that isn't helpful either. But when you do need grounding, especially for people who are feeling a bit lost or kind of lacking direction, it's really, and this is actually a very powerful healing meditation that I teach people in my classes. And if you just sit and imagine your feet or you can be standing too, but if you imagine you've got your feet on the floor and you imagine you've got roots like a tree growing down through your home, through your basement, through whatever is under you, and down into the ground, and as far as you want, deep into Mother Earth, we'll say. Could be several feet, could be several miles, whatever you feel you need. But you imagine these roots that are really anchoring you deeply into the earth, and once you've done that, then you start to imagine these roots kind of spreading, and you can really feel that sense of connectedness. And then you imagine this beautiful, nourishing energy coming up through the roots and into your body from your feet and moving up through up through the top of your head, and then you can, you get the same sort of thing if you also imagine universal energy, or just energy, however you want to call it, coming down through the top of your head, through crown chakra for those people who understand about chakras, and imagine that coming down into your body, and then there's perfect balance of the two. But even just the one with the roots, and feeling that nourishing, supportive energy coming up through the deepest part of the earth, it's really very powerful, and it feels really wonderful.
And if you don't cut your toenails, that you can grip the earth even better.
Yes,
right?
Yes, you absolutely could, yes. Or if you don't scrape all those awful things off your heels, you could just stick to the carpet. Yeah.
At least you won't fall off the perch. Let's put it that way.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Liberty, we are, I can't believe it, out of time. What we're going to do is we'll bring you back, and we'll talk about some of the other things that you do. Good luck with the song. If you want, go to libertyforrest.com. You'll find out more about Liberty, her core values, from gratitude and miracles to just her thoughts on life. libertyforrest.com. I'm Mark Allen, along with Daryl Wayne. When we come back, we're going to spend some time with Kathy, and we're going to talk about myofascial release. We'll do that in a couple of minutes. Don't go away. More coming up here on Late Night Health.
The show continues in a moment.